Tim, you gotta love middle of May talking bowl projections. Yeah, I mean, I think they're the most ridiculous thing to do, you know, 3 weeks before the season ends. But here we are in May, and we're not so much talking here about the validity of the bowl projections. It's more of
Yeah.
if this comes to fruition, what do you think? So this is a report from Tyler Horka, and he is talking about a story from Brett McMurphy from the Action Network. Going to read Horka's article. Formerly known as the Outback Bowl, the ReliaQuest Bowl. Pause. I grew up going to the Outback Bowl. What the heck? How this should not be allowed. They like these sponsors. It should be a. That's it. Like, what if you change? What are you going to change the Rose Bowl? You're going to start calling it the, the Walmart Bowl? Like, no. Some of these things you just can't change. The Outback Bowl is bigger than the Outback Steakhouse. It's the Outback Bowl. I digress. All right. Formerly known as the Outback Bowl, the ReliaQuest Bowl isn't exactly a top-tier destination. It can feature two ranked teams squaring off. It generally doesn't. This has happened once in the game's last 6 matchups. Number 16, Minnesota defeated number 19, Auburn, 31-24 in Notre Dame 2020. Notre Dame's never played in this bowl. Okay. Notre Dame, McMurphy has Notre Dame playing in this bowl game against Texas A&M. And then, for folks watching on YouTube, I'm not going to read this off for podcasts. You can see his other, for the playoff games and the big the New Year's Six and all that stuff. You can see that. But Tim, if Notre Dame is playing in the Texas A&M, that would probably have the Irish at what, like a 9-3 or 10-2?
Oh no, not the Outback, right? 10. If they're 10-2, now you're looking at a New Year's Six. So if they're 10-2,
You think they get New Year's Six at 10-2?
Well, of course, I would think, because that means you're going to beat one of Ohio State, Clemson, USC. You're going to beat one of those two, or one of those three, excuse me. So you beat, heck, they may beat two of them and lose to Duke, as people keep hyping up Duke in this quarterback. So 10-2. 10-2 last year, they were New Year's Six. So they'll be in a New Year's Six, I believe, at 10-2, because they will have a marquee win on their resume. So if you're going to this bowl, Mike, they're 8-4. Because the pecking order, someone correct me if I'm wrong, please. The pecking order is Citrus Bowl and then the Gator Bowl, which they were in last year, when you go with the ACC and things of that nature. How, I remember all those articles Patrick Engel and Tyler Horka kept throwing out last year, all these pecking orders and all that stuff. So if they're playing in this bowl, they're 8-4, and what a fun season that will be, doing podcast.
If Notre Dame, I guess if Notre Dame goes anything but undefeated, you and Goolsby are just going to be insufferable to work with. So,
8-4.
Should have kept Buckner.
Oh God, how much fun would that be? What will that be if they're 8-4 with Drew Pine and Buckner went 0-2 and 8-4 with Hartman? I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see them going 8-4, but
what do you see them going?
Well, if they beat Ohio State, Mike.
Oh, Tim, you're the best.
Man, you know what? You got to have a 2-game improvement. I'm not even counting the bowl. So you got to go 10-2. With Sam Hartman, for bringing him in, bunch of guys coming back, a lot of experience playing a second-year DC. You got to go 10-2. You got to go 10-2. That'll be my.
So if they go 10-2, let's say 11-2, win a bowl game, you think it's a successful season? If they win a New Year's Six game?
Oh my God, yeah! If you win a New Year's Six game, please.
Okay, I thought you were more national championship or bust.
Oh, it has to be. Isn't that the hype though with Hartman, the Heisman, and the national championship and bust? So
no, I don't think or bust. Your mileage varies. It depends who you talk to. Yeah, but not for me.
Yeah, no, that's true. If they go 10-2, they have a 2-game improvement off of last year. Once again, talking regular season, and you go to a New Year's Six and win, which they haven't done since January 1st of '94. Yeah, I think you get that monkey off the back, which they blew against Oklahoma State, for crying out loud. Uh, I still can't believe that. Oh my God. It's like if they could somehow get that thing off their back, that'll be good. Because once again, if you're 10-2, you beat somebody in there, right? Is it Ohio State, which is going to be a Super Bowl atmosphere? Is it Caleb Williams and SC coming to town, or do you go into Clemson and beat them? Because real quick on these rankings, I know I've seen some other rankings, like people are talking about Florida State being a top 4 or 5 team. Well, Florida State still has to. Yeah, there's a lot of hype about Florida State this year. Well, Florida State opens with LSU, then they have Clemson early. If Clemson beats Florida State, Clemson's going to be undefeated going into that Notre Dame game. From looking at their schedule, they don't have. They should just go right through everybody. So that game in Clemson is going to be a massive ball game.
Well, Wake Forest is a divisional foe for Clemson, so I know they play. And from what you always tell me about Wake Forest is they have such a darn good coach and they have such a good team. But then, they lose because of Sam Hartman at their quarterback. That's what I'd always tell them.
They lost because of Sam Hartman. Talked about his stats, his performance in games, right?
Tim,
is the coach throw the ball when it's 3rd and 12 in the double coverage? Is that the coach does that? Because
let's not talk about quarterbacks throwing picks, because I've got some stats for you if that's the case.
I know it's
always a debate.
I know. Just don't go there because people will start getting into the. Yeah, it's always the coach's fault. So
it is an interesting thing though. Even in the sports I follow, outside of this, I'm big into soccer.
And the coaches get blamed for sneezes.
My local team here, Atlanta United, which is what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm going to Atlanta United game. And the MLS, they have lost 4 straight games. And they're still 4th in the conference. They're still having a really good season. They just had a bad streak here. And it's always fire the coach. And I'm thinking to myself, part of this has to be on the players, but then I get to, the coach and the regime brought in these players, so that still falls back on them. But I just don't think it always goes back to fire people. I don't know. But that's just me.